everyone, this video is part of a video series
where we discuss gender equality from different perspectives.
Today, we will be discussing the topic from a youth perspective.
In this episode, we will be discussing some tough and thought-provoking questions.
And through this video, we hope to encourage discussions on gender equality.
So let's talk!
My name is Guan Ying and I'm studying sociology.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashad, I'm studying data analytics.
Hi everyone, I'm Hazim. I'm currently studying philosophy, politics and economics.
Hi everyone, my name is Aurpreet and I'm studying sociology.
Hi everyone, I'm Suen and I'm currently studying law.
Hi everyone, I'm Kenji, I'm studying psychology.
I think in my opinion, if I was a guy, I would be able to do more things that I would like to do. I think from young, right, I was part of taekwondo and my grandparents was super against it. I still did it anyways, but it came with a lot of... They were very unhappy basically.
It really irks me when, because I am the daughter of the house, I am expected to do the cooking, the cleaning, the mopping, the sweeping and everything, while my brother just lazes around and plays on his PlayStation. But my parents also come from a different generation where they grew up with those beliefs. So I've actively tried in my own way at home to push the responsibility a little bit, to share the load and to kind of normalize that, not only females have to do the household chores or do the cooking, males are equally capable and equally can do that as well. Yeah.
Does your brother clean? Only his PS4.
He's learning and he's getting there.
He cooks cooking mama.
I have it differently in my household. Like previously, before I had a domestic worker, my mom every Saturday, all of us have to clean the house. Then we have to take different rooms. Then the guys will usually end up cleaning the toilet. Then that's the worst one. So I think I had it differently. My mom will it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, all of you have to take a room. Maybe the older siblings will take the bigger areas, the younger siblings will take it. But at the end of the day, all of us have to do our part in terms of cleaning the house. Yeah.
What about you guys? Why do you disagree? I'm very curious to hear.
Actually, all the guys disagree.
Yeah. And Suen, you're so
I put disagree because I feel that on both genders, there are issues that both genders face. So I feel that as a girl, we have to deal with period, pregnancy. Even when I went on exchange in London, I felt that if I wasn't both a Chinese and a female, I wouldn't feel so vulnerable when I walk down the street late at night. At the same time, I felt that guys on the other hand also don't have it easy. I mean, they also have to go through NS. Recently, I've sat in some focus group discussions and I've heard so much complaints about how NS has held them back from their careers, their achievements, and also other expectations as well, like how guys find it harder to be more emotionally vulnerable.
For me, I agree with Suen, different people, different problems, everything. But I think the issue with gender equality is that the problems that one gender faces may not be so transparent to the opposite gender. And that's the barrier that prevents people from understanding from each other's perspective. So I think that is something that we should talk to the opposite gender more, understand their problems, and we can see how we can support each other. I think that would be a good move.
I disagree because I think maybe as a guy, sometimes we have greater advantages over the other gender. I think that is a given in the society, living with the expectations that we have also. Life itself, everyone has problems. So just because the grass looks greener on the other side, doesn't mean it's going to be easier. I mean, like you mentioned, females have their own set of problems, males also have their own set of problems.
I feel being a female and coming into a leadership position at the start was a bit daunting because I think people have that preconceived notion that males tend to be better leaders. There was this instance when we first stepped in. There was a comment actually questioning how is it the case that there were so many females in our executive committee and there are so little males. It came across as a little strange to me because I didn't know why my gender would be such a big issue when it came to leadership. Because I'm a female doesn't mean that I won't be a good leader. It's more of the preconceived notions that people have when you are a female and you are a leader.
I also am in a leadership position right now, and to be honest, I had so much doubt and I also very scared. I was thinking, right, if people saw my photo and versus a guy's photo, right, I'm wondering like who will they choose? Because to be honest, when we run for elections, right, very seldom people will read like your bio or what you do. Most of the time they look at your face, they click for or against. To be honest, for me, I would have actually chosen the male, being lazy and all. I would actually click the guy's face.
I do think that the way my leadership was perceived was kind of different. So I mean, I lead the student union, right? And then every single time someone wants to feature me, it's always because I'm the second female president. Not because of anything I achieved, but because I'm female. Okay, from a personal standpoint, it doesn't make that much sense, because why focus on my gender when you can focus on everything else that I've done for the union? But at the same time, I also acknowledge that I mean, out of 42 42 years of this executive committee being up, there's only 2. I mean, it in itself is something that I guess would be good to highlight to other females in terms of how leadership is portrayed lah, like what successful leadership looks like. And I also read an article about the idea of like females and confidence, and how generally females tend to undercut themselves when it comes to pursuing leadership roles in the first place. Like they won't step forward to be like, oh, I'll be the president, I'll be the what. They'll be like, okay, I prefer to be a supporting role, less than the person in front. And then that might be also a factor that comes into play lah. Like, do we inherently undercut our own achievements and how much we can achieve when it comes to pursuing like higher career or even like school leadership kind of roles? Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
I start first. Okay. For me, I think traditional stereotypes in a relationship actually helps in attracting the opposite gender. But of course, you should not enforce it on the other gender. But I think, right, it's kind of a thing, like, for example, like guys should pay on the first date, or you should wear cologne, you should dress up on the first date, stuff like that. Or guys should hold the door. You can don't do. But if you don't do, then you're probably going to be at a disadvantage compared to someone who does it.
Maybe just a counter question. Like, so in that sense, should a guy be going for the girl or the girl going for a guy?
Okay, to me, I'm fine with both lah. But actually, I think the girl will feel flattered if a guy chases after her.
If you really want me, right, you should chase after me.
I would say so. But of course, if a guy will also feel flattered if a girl chases after him. But I don't think that's very common. It's getting more common, but I don't think it's very common. Yeah. I don't know. How about you?
Like you mentioned, I've seen girls who go for guys. Like they say, oh, it's 2021. Like why can't it be that way?
Yeah, then will you go and chase the girl?
If I have,
Okay, future Asha girlfriend.
hey, put my number in the description below.
I think there inevitably will always be traditional gender expectations in a relationship. The reason why I disagree that there should be, I say there can be, but there should not be, because like it should not be fixated. Like if the other party is comfortable with being like, I guess, more dominant, subservient, or like doing like specific roles, like okay, I love doing the dishes, okay, then I do the dishes. Then I love cooking, then like, okay, I do the cooking. Then I think as long as it's like consensual, like that, at least that's that conversation. Even the process of like having a conversation, that builds the relationship. Yeah.
Write down my book, okay.
In my opinion, the family is like forever, and like most of the time, I would say that the women, the mother, the wife is expected to do more stuff at home. Right now, a lot of females go out and work. They go home, still need to work. Most of the time, not so much as evident as last time, but still men go home and then like sit on the sofa and do whatever.
Maybe as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
in my
fine.
opinion. So
It's fine now.
in the long term, maybe like I feel women has the tougher job in my opinion lah. What you think?
I think like that's a good question in a sense where, like, you know, when companies they give leave for like childcare leave or maternity leave, like females get more compared, like that in itself gives the assumption that maybe mothers should play a bigger part in the children's life compared to if there was an equal sense. I think like certain countries they do they make sure that males, the fathers and mothers have an equal like part in terms of raising the children, taking care of the household. So, but in this case where you have all this kind of like the maternity leave and all that kind of stuff, so there's a certain expectation maybe the female can do more because they have this sort of incentive that's given to them. So I think that comes into play. But I think in that sense, maybe like I think they always talk about shared parental leave, that all these kind of initiatives that come into play. So if that maybe can help to break these kind of gender expectations. Like it will show the child as well as that both my parents play a part in terms of raising me also. So it helps to shape the expectation for the child itself themselves.
I feel like it affects more of the males around me than to me itself, but because it happens to them, it kind of has an impact on me. Like, you know, there's a saying that like men shouldn't cry or men shouldn't be emotionally vulnerable. So I think in my opinion, being affected by it would be not really truly being able to like connect with my family members or like my siblings who actually feel emotionally turbulent but don't feel compelled or don't feel comfortable sharing it with me because of this notion. So I think that's one example that I have. Yeah.
I do think that toxic masculinity exists and it can be quite harmful. I mean, for example, in terms of emotional vulnerability, not just in terms of family members, but in terms of perhaps male friends, it's harder for them to open up. Or in terms of like romantic relationships, right? When a guy opens up, then sometimes emotional vulnerability becomes like a signifier of romantic interest more so than anything else. Another thing that I also thought about was the idea of like the man being the head of the household. So something my dad likes to talk about is that there must be a dominant man in the household, the subservient woman. And he's like, I have veto power over everybody in this household. Then I'm like, okay. You know, and then when I started dating and all, I have a partner who's like not physically, like he's like shorter than me. And then the first question that my dad asked was, is he okay with a more dominant woman because you are physically bigger? Then I was like, I think I'm okay. Yeah, so I was just like, oh.
But you said yes, right?
Yeah, I said But I think it comes out in very weird ways.
But in the end, did he say yes?
I said, he can even say no.
He never practice his veto power.
But I'll say that I've definitely been affected by toxic masculinity. I mean, like, given like fitness, like, you know, NAPFA, your IPPT, then everyone's just like, oh, gunning for gold. Guys have to get like, oh, commando goal. Not even normal goal, I have to get like commando goal. Then I remember like I would train for like 2.4 and I'll start vomiting everything. I was like, oh no. But just because like I'm also very small built, right? So I was just like, no, I have to prove that I'm like physically strong. Like back in like JC in high school, that was like quite a bad time of like trying to figure out like physique-wise how to navigate that. I think it's really just a conversation about like how do we want to balance our views and perspectives on what expectations we set on specific individuals.
Fine. Are we
Oh,
fine?
wow.
For once?
On the same page!
We did it. It was all for this moment. Okay, cut.
I have quite a few friends who were thinking of joining platforms, but then they were saying that actually might be benefit more because otherwise I will crowd out the voices that were meant to be.
That's the question, like, what do I bring to the table? Like, if I were to go into the conversation, like, with gender equality, I'm going to focus mainly on women. So they'll be, like, their views will matter more than mine. So then, like, for us, your question, what do we bring to the table? We don't want to, like, overcrowd the voice, like you mentioned, at the same time. We want to make sure that the woman's voice is heard. Then, if I bring in that, I scared I also, like, will be attacked, you see?
Right.
Yeah, I think there's a certain fear where, like, I bring in, then people will be like, hey, this guy's having it so well. So, like, there's a fear on my end also. So, because I don't want to, when you discuss, like, topics, like, with regards to, like, team leadership and all that kind of stuff, then you say you're in a position of privilege. Then like, people all look up to you like, wow, you're so lucky and that kind of stuff. But you also feel bad because you don't want to be put in a situation where you don't really agree that this should happen, but then you're in a position because of the gender you are.
Friends who like wanted to like join, then they were like, they were scolded or chided. Like what is it lah? Like what do you know? Why are you here? Like it happens. Cause like I think there are people who are for gender empowerment. Then there's some people who are more extreme, and this small majority of them. I hope it's a small minority. Sorry, small minority. This small minority are more vocal, and they say this kind of thing. Then it really like it's an unnecessary barrier that prevents people from the other gender from joining into the conversation.
Based on the responses that we've heard, right, it's very interesting to note how males feel about participating in such conversations. Like the whole realm of gender equality doesn't only have to be limited to just women's development. We can also focus on issues that males feel that need to be addressed as well.
I think it's like a development of like call-in culture versus call-out culture. I mean, call-out culture has like its place, accountability, positions of power, etc. But I think especially for like inclusive movement, I think calling in, when we think about like mental health, we think about like harassment, like not just viewing experiences in a binary form, but how do we want to broaden those experiences such that you are able to tackle everyone as much at the same time. I mean, it's going to be very difficult. It's a very, very slow process. Policies also structurally take very, very difficult, and like mindsets even take longer. You have the policies structures, but then you also have mindsets which take very, very long. But I think like calling in is always the useful way of like making sure that that movement is sustainable.
Thank you for watching this video.
We hope you enjoyed this discussion
and help you to spur more conversations about gender equality.
Share with us in the comments your thoughts, experiences, and opinions.
If you liked and enjoyed the video,
leave a like and subscribe to our channel.
Bye.
Bye.